Hola, buenos días. En este video vamos a mirar las diferencias y semejanzas a los verbos hacerse, llegar a ser, ponerse, y volverse. So we're going to look at the differences and similarities between those four verbs. If you want to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the text up here on the screen for you, and if you want access to that document, there's a link in the description of my video, and you can follow that link, and if you want to print it off, you can. And that's it. So here comes the information. Okay, so we have some four verbs here and some different uses for them. What I'm going to do here for you is I'm going to present to you the uses of these verbs that I most commonly see. I do know for a fact, however, that there are many uses for these verbs other than the ones that I'm putting here on the screen. Some of them can be used in different slang expressions, and I would bet you that hacerse can mean something completely different in, say, Venezuela than it does in Mexico or España or something like that. So the language obviously changes with region. So if you are from somewhere else, you're a Spanish speaker listening to this, feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below telling me and my listeners how you use some of these verbs, just so that we can also learn from you. And please include where you're from, because I'd really like to know that. It's kind of fun to learn those kind of things. So with hacerse means many things, but one of the things it means is to become, which all of these verbs here on this page mean to become, among other things. So we're just going to look at them as far as meaning to become. So it can be used to for a profession. So I'll give you an example sentence. El año pasado mi hermano se hizo enfermero. So last year, my brother, he became a nurse. Amigos, maybe friends. Nosotros nos hicimos amigos inmediatamente. So we became friends immediately. Obviously quite similar but opposite there. Enemigos. Después de 10 años de amistad, ellos se hicieron enemigos. So after 10 years of friendship, they became enemies. And this one sometimes has more of an immediate type of a thing happen to it. Like with that enemy thing, you saw that after 10 years, they became friends. That's kind of an immediate type of a thing. Another example of that would be por la noche, él se hizo rico. So last night or over the night, he became rich. So it's more of an immediate thing. You'll see a difference here. If you go down to, there's a link there, the blue link over here. There's some other uses for hacerse if you want to see them. So llegar a ser also means to become. There's some similarities here between llegar a ser y hacerse. So profession. Después de graduarme, llegué a ser maestro. So after graduating, I became a teacher. This one some people will tell you it implies more of a duration. So like 5 años en la universidad y finalmente llegaste a ser médico. So 5 years in the university and finally you became a doctor. So sometimes people will use llegar a ser as more of a, it's acknowledged that this became this way because of all these things that were happening behind it, whereas hacerse sometimes can be seen as a more of a immediate type of thing, that all of a sudden this became this way. And I'm not saying that's always how it is, but sometimes I've seen it used that way. So ponerse, it can mean to become, which I've put it right over here. It also means other things, to put on, to get, to be, kind of. I'll give you an example of each of those. So with kind of the to get idea, with the feelings here, the first one, me puse nervioso antes del discurso. So you'll often see ponerse with feelings, like I got nervous before the speech, or I became nervous before the speech. It's obviously used with clothing, like antes de ir a la escuela, siempre nos ponemos zapatos. So before going to school, we put on clothes. So it can be used as a reflexive verb for putting on clothing. Temporary descriptions. Anoche, ella se puso muy bonita. So last night, she looked really pretty. And then lay eggs. I knew this one. I thought I'd show it to you. El pájaro se puso dos huevos. So the bird laid 2 eggs. And again, there are other uses for it. Those are just some of the more popular ones that I have seen. And then lastly, we have volverse, which also means to become. It can be, I've seen it used as kind of more of a permanent, somewhat more permanent type of a thing that you become. So después de que, this first sentence, después de que su novio se mudó, ella se volvió loca. So after her boyfriend moved, she became crazy. And it can be seen as kind of a more permanent thing. She became crazy and it was continuous. However, it's kind of funny is that I've also seen it used as a more temporary type of a thing as well. My example for that was cuando José aprendí que su hijo rompió el carro, José se volvió loco. So when Jose learned that his son broke the car, he went crazy, or he became crazy. Now, it's not to say that he's going to be crazy for a long time. It's just like maybe for 5 minutes he shouted at his son or something like that. So that could be a temporary state. So these verbs, there's a lot of gray area with them, and if you're living in a certain part of the world and you're an English speaker like I am, I'd maybe try and ask someone that lives in an area how they would use each one of those verbs so that you are using them correctly based on their regionalisms and whatnot. But if you have something to add to this conversation, feel free to leave a post down in the comment box. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and enjoy your day.